I'm going to discuss some media that has been made in the last 20 years related to trans people. Please keep in mind I'm only going to discuss things I have personally watched or played, so there's going to be a bit of bias with that. There's very little representation in Pokemon. The only canon trans character appears as a random NPC in Pokemon X and Y. The NPC's dialogue is, "Yes, a mere half a year ago, I was a black belt. Quite a transformation, wouldn't you say?" While the word black belt was used in the English release, the exact translation from Japanese is Karate King. This is significant because the only characters in Pokemon that are referred to with the same type of name are male. Also, Pokemon X and Y is the first games with the character Sylveon, which has become a trans icon because of the character's similarities to the trans flag. There's also a lot of fan art and headcanoning of characters being trans or people relating to characters, like for example this comic that is fairly popular online. Celeste is a game about anxiety and depression. It's a really good game, but I'm really not going to be focusing on it. I'm just going to be focusing on a scene in the Farewell DLC. In particular, in this scene right here when Madeline is at her computer. Next to the computer there's two flags, a pride and a trans flag. Before this, people were already speculating if Madeline was trans because of hints in the story. But this made a lot of people think it was canon. This was not confirmed until November of 2020, when Maddie Thorson, one of the creators of the game, wrote an article responding. The article was titled, "Is Madeline canonically trans?" and just starts off with the first line, "Well, yeah, of course she is." Over the development of Celeste, Maddie believed they were a cis man, but over the time of making Celeste, began realizing both of their identities. They felt very connected with the character, and their stories mirror theirs. They later apologized in the article for staying silent on the subject matter for so long, but they stayed silent because they were in the middle of figuring themselves out and they did not feel comfortable talking about it publicly yet. Even without the article, Madeline was already a huge icon in online trans spaces. Mother 3 is a JRPG released in 2006. The game has never officially released outside of Japan despite having a large fan base around the world. Many people speculate that this is because of a group of characters called the Magypsies. They are described in-game as neither human nor beast, neither man nor woman. While nowadays their appearance is still being debated, whether it is positive or negative, the creator Shigesato Itoi said in an interview he wanted the game to have people not often represented in media but exist in the real world. He said that the Mother 3 world is all about having friends like them. Perhaps you could call them symbols of not rejecting such people. My overall interpretation is that it was meant to be positive, but can be seen as a little negative because it plays into a lot of stereotypes. But it seems like a classic case of a cis man trying to write a character they don't understand. Wandering Sun is a manga that ran from 2002 to 2013 and was adapted into an anime in 2011. The story follows a group of 5th graders as they figure out who they are. In contrast to most of the other things I talked about, the story is directly related to the characters' growth as discovering that they are trans. The story mainly focuses on Nitori and Takatsuki. Nitori is assigned male at birth but wishes to be a girl, and Takatsuki was assigned female at birth but wishes to be a boy. The smartest thing about this show is that it doesn't give solid answers, it just gives you what they know, but they're in middle school and they don't know who they are yet, and you are along with figuring out who they are with them. I've only watched the anime, but I've heard the manga gets pretty bad in some of its representation, but I have not read it, so I'm not sure. Out of these, if you're looking for a story focused on trans characters, I would recommend Wandering Sun. Celeste is still a trans story, but it's very much more subtle. And obviously there's a lot of terrible representation in the last 20 years as well, but I didn't really want to acknowledge those. They can go die in a ditch alone. Thank you for watching my first video like this. I have my sources in the description below. If you have any constructive comments, I'd love to read them in the comments below. And thanks for watching.